will be presenting. Sorry, I'm wrong. I think it is the
Siddhantis.
Siddhantis who will be presenting. So we have about 7 speakers here. Anu, topic will be Jivanmukti, Kanti, Videhamukti, Charavanan, Gayatri, Satyavati, Prashant, and Chandrasekhar. All will be talking about Sthithaprajna's lakshanas in a different aspects. So Pratibha will be our timekeeper. We will be each presentation will be going about for 6 minutes. 4 minutes there will be either fingers or the color will be shown. Then 5 minutes, then 6 minutes. So if you can keep the timing and do it, it will be a added feather to all of us. Then after that, the Purva Pakshis will be putting the questions, 2 each, and after that, Vasudevji is here, so he will be giving us his inputs. So, Anu, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. I had to unmute it.
So, is Pratibha ready?
Am I
Yes.
good? All right, thank you. Hari Om all. My topic.
Anu, just 1 second. Pratibha, you know how to go about it, na? 4 minutes, then 5, and the 6th minute. We have to indicate. So, if you are ready, we will start.
Can I start? All right. Hari Om all. My topic today is Jivanmukti, Jivanmukta. What is Jivanmukti? Jivan means life and Mukti is liberation. Liberation from life. Normally, we consider life as samsara, constantly seeking some happiness, peace. So we always encounter happiness, sadness, success, failure, birth, death, and all. Like it's like punariti jananam, puraniti maranam. It's an ongoing process. So how do we get freedom from this ongoing process of life? Is through liberation from life. What is Jivanmukta means? One who realizes the self is called Jivanmukta. And how can one become Jivanmukta? A person who has realized that he is not a body, mind, and intellect is Jivanmukta. Like Nanu, Nanembudu, Nanalla, Ideha Manabuddhi Nanalla, Sachidanandatma, Shivananu Nane, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, intellect, I'm pure consciousness, Shivaswarupi. Like one who is liberated from the body, mind, and intellect, while in the body he's alive, is called Jivanmukta. So how does one realize this? One who separates from Atma, Anatma, Nitya, Anitya, Satya, and Mithya, and establish themselves in this self through the Jnana is called Jivanmukta or Sthithaprajna. Like Prajna means knowledge, Sthita means established in self-knowledge. Like realization means I'm not the body, as I mentioned. I'm not the body, mind, and intellect. I'm pure consciousness. So Jivanmukta, who is sitting in samadhi, is always absorbed in self. They are abiding in their own self, and they're not interacting with the world, or they're kind of very calm, peace, and blissful state. Always they're having that samadhi state. Even if they are out of samadhi or interacting with the world, doing their day-to-day transaction, all, they're still established in this self. People see them as they're into the day-to-day life interacting. They don't see them as a jnani or Jivan Mukta. They see them as a normal human being, like man or a woman or something, because a common person will not see them as jnani. As I mentioned, they consider them, how can a jnani interact into the day-to-day activities with this particular mindset? But jnani uses his body as an instrument, as a vehicle to interact into day-to-day activities or in normal transaction in the world, to do loka kalyana activities or selfless service. A common person has a firm conviction that body and consciousness is separate. Body, mind, intellect, and consciousness is separate. So they associate themselves with the body. Common person will associate themselves with body as I am man, I am this, I am that, like, with a name and form. Whereas jnani recognize themselves with self, and they are called Jivanmukta. What is the difference between a jnani in samadhi and one out of samadhi? One in samadhi is having that maximum bliss, like how we, when we sleep, we go through that bliss state. And at the same time, when they are out of samadhi, they're having that bliss in the background, but they're still interacting with the day-to-day activities, and they are calm, peace, and with a state of equanimity, they are interacting with people. That's the difference between jnani in the samadhi and out of the samadhi. They are always having that equanimity state or Sthithaprajna state. When jnani leaves the body, people think he has attained Videhamukti. But for jnani, Videhamukti and Jivanmukti is happening simultaneously. The reason is he is not associating with body, mind, and intellect. So it is happening simultaneously. Like in the past, King Janaka and Vedavyasa, they were called as Jivanmukta or Videha Janaka. He was called. The reason is they had attained mukti, and people then realized that Videhamukta and Jivanmukta, because they had that knowledge, that understanding. But now in the current scenario, common people do not have a knowledge of self-knowledge. They think pure consciousness or the jnani is different than the not a jnani, they associate the person with the body, mind, and intellect. So what is a way for us to transcend this? BMI, the person who wants to transcend this body, mind, and intellect, before they attain Jivan Mukta, they have to go through certain process, like, doing Shat Sampati, Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titik, Shraddha, and Samadhana, applying Tattva Viveka through Atma, Anatma, Nitya, Anitya, Satya, Mithya process. They understand the process of permanent, non-permanent, changing, unchanging world around us. They establish themselves in that self through Vikshepa and Avarna Shakti, and they transcend beyond all of these, and they attain that Jivan Mukta. And one who attains this direct self-knowledge through that personal experience, it's called Aparoksha Jnana, and they're called Jivan Mukta because they're always established in this self. And after doing all this sadhana, all he knows is that he's Brahman, and I'm Atma Brahman. And he also thinks everything around him is Brahman, like Sarvam Kalvida Brahman. Thank you.
Thank you, Anu. It's very well spoken. And Pratibha, how many minutes?
6 minutes.
Wow.
Perfect.
On time, actually.
Excellent.
Very good.
Thank you.
I think, Yashmita, are you ready with your questions?
Yeah, sure, Shobhanaji. Hari Om Anuji, very composed talk. I was really like into your talk completely. First question, like you said, that Jivan the experience is a personal experience of recognizing the self. So, like you said, it's aparoksha anubhuti. Like, how is it different from the other experiences that you have? Like the experience of the self, how is it different from the other day-to-day experiences?
Especially when you have direct knowledge, you have that experience directly. You know, you're more profound in your experiences. You can explain, you can go through, you're doing it. But someone who tells it, you cannot understand it. Like someone, a blind person who has not seen an ocean, when you say ocean, 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 they cannot conceptualize what it is all about, you know. But when someone sees it, touches it, feels it, and experiences it, that experience is different than not one who has not experienced. So the person who has got that Brahmagyan or self-knowledge through direct knowledge, their experience is different than a person who has not experienced. Did I answer your question?
Yes, like on top of that, another question, like if their experience is different, what is the difference in between these two experiences? Like you said, the Atmajnani or the Jivanmukta has their experiences are quite different from the person who is not got enlightenment or the Jnana. Like what is that one factor which is differentiating it?
One factor which differentiates is because, as I mentioned, Brahman will, the Jnani will see everything as Brahman in and around him, and they do not consider themselves as different. Whereas a common person who has not experienced, they always have a difference. This is not this, you know, they, man, women, everything is different. So for them, right from body, I am this, my mind is thinking this, my body is going through this pain, or I am, you know, that change is happening. That's the main difference, what I find about a common person and a Jnani.
Yeah.
Because they have everything name and form for that, and they experience differently.
Okay. And would there be any change in reality, like before Jivanmukti or after Jivanmukti, like in terms of, would there be any changes?
Definitely, there will be a change. The way of perception will change because they think everything is Brahman, and they even inanimate, everything they think it's Brahman, and they see as oneness, everything is in oneness. That's the change in the perception, and people knowledge will expand, and they want to attain liberation. They want to go beyond that, not stay in that the world where it is everything is where everything is non-permanent. Nothing is real. No one wants to be around that. Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Thank you, Manuji.
Any other questions?
No, that's it.
All right, thank you.
No, actually, we skipped the analysis part. Could you?
Oh, I'm so sorry. So yeah, so let me get to the point. I hope I have it. So self-analysis, I kept it simple, kept it very focused, relevant. Yes, I did use one or two Vedantic examples or story or King Janaka. Time management, yes. Kind of, it was extempo because I had gone over the points again and again. Hopefully I made a eye contact, hopefully, because it was just, and I don't know about voice modulation, whether I did or I was frozen, because sometimes in front of the camera I freeze. That's how. Other than that, audience or Vasuji has to give me the feedback.
Vasu sir, your feedback.
So I think the start was excellent. The way you defined Jivanmukti as freedom from life was a little astounding. Which is, but of course, you went on to define life and then the freedom, the one who is free from life, which is a little different, unconventional in terms of definition. Nothing wrong, but I'm saying it provokes people to listening curiously. A good beginning, and that's one approach of beginning a good talk, to tell something very, very curious and let the people start guessing about it. So the body of the talk expanding on what Jivanmukti, Videhamukti is, and the conclusion was excellent. Only one thing in terms of content and one choice of word that I recognized, Towards the end, you mentioned attaining Jivanmukti. The word attainment we must be careful in terms of realization.
Okay, got it.
Or Jivanmukti, it is not an attainment, it is a recognition. So that technical error in the choice of words, we must just be aware of. That's the only thing I can recognize through the talk in terms of content. Because towards the second half of this JNANAJYOTI, we are also focusing on content in addition to structure, accuracy of content to the given topic. But otherwise, examples of King Janaka, all of those were very well laid out. And voice modulation was there. Time management, excellent. Like Pratibha said, 6 minutes on the dot. Good work. Thank you.
I'll work on it more.
Thank you, Vasuji. Kanti, are you ready? So, Pratibha, over to you.
Can I start? Hari Om to all the Atmajyotis present here. Today's topic of mine and Anu's are almost the same. Here, the differences or the similarities, I cannot say that also. As we go through, I've done a presentation. As we go through that presentation, we will know what is Videhamukti or who is a Videhamukta. How is it different from the Jivanmukta is what is to be known. Later on, we will come to know about that. So let me start with who is a Videhamukta? Is he the one who gets liberation when he dies? Or is he a person, or is he a Gnani who has already been realized and who has no recognition of his body, mind, and intellect? What is it about? Who is a Videhamukta and what is Videhamukti? I'll just share my presentation. This option was given, which helped me a lot this time to share and maybe prepare better for this session. Yes. One moment. Now, Videhamukti is liberation from birth and death cycle or liberation from body. When the subtle mind gets resolved, experience of self ceases, and when one is immersed in the ocean of bliss, he is called a Videhamukta. Then, I would like to understand this. I actually went through the topic with the help of three people who helped me to understand this Videhamukti. First is our Guruji, Shri Prabhuji. What does he tell about Videhamukta? Jivanmukti and Videhamukti are the same for a Gnani. For common people, it is not the same. An Agnani sees Gnani through the body of a Gnani. It's only the body that an Agnani can recognize the Gnani. As Gnani has the body, Agnani thinks that only when he lives the body or he drops off, that is, he dies, he becomes a Videhamukta. But Agnani is a Videhamukta after getting Gnana and he is free from the body. And there is one aspect, different aspect that can be understood, that is the law of karma can be dealt with here. That is nothing but Sri Adi Shankaracharya from the Tattva Bodha tells so many things about the karma theory. That is, according to law of karma, who is a Videhamukta? For a Gnani, Sanchita karma is not there, Prarabdha karma is exhausted, and Agami karma is avoided. There is no karma left. He gets freedom from rebirth, and he is called a Videhamukta. When body of a Gnani is dropped, all karmas are dropped, and there is no karma phala left for a Videhamukta to take a new body. And he merges with Brahman. That is what our Shankaracharya has told in Tattva Bodha. And now, a disciple is there, and he asks Bhagavan, who are Videhamuktas, the liberated ones without body? Then Ramana Maharshi says, there is no liberation, and where are muktas? Such a wonderful understanding of what Videhamukti is. And again, the devotees are not satisfied with that answer. They ask, but Hindu scriptures speak of mukti. Then Ramana Maharshi says, mukti is synonymous to the self. Jivanmukti and Videhamukti are all for the ignorant people like us. Gnani is not conscious of mukti and bandha. Bondage, liberation, and order of mukti are for agnani so that ignorance might be shaken off. There is only mukti and nothing else. In reality, there is no distinctions in liberation gained through gnana. With this, I conclude that Videhamukti and Jivanmukti are one and the same from the perspective of a Gnani, and from the perspective of a Gnani, it may be different. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kanti. About the analysis part.
May I know how much time I took?
It was right on time. Yeah, maybe some 2-3 seconds, but that was okay.
No.
Excellent. So can we do the self-analysis now?
Yeah. Simplicity, clarity, fluence, focus, crispness, effective talk structure. I think Vasuji may help me in telling that. Relevant quotes from scriptures. This was basically from the talk of Ramana Maharshi. And then it is the quotes from, or the explanation part from Tattva Bodha. So though this Sanskrit version was not given, the meaning was taken. Time management was okay. Refer to notes with main points if required. That as PPT was done, I think it was not impromptu. Voice modulation, eye contact, body language, audience connect. Maybe Vasuji will tell about that.
Thank you, Kanti. Shailashri ji, can you put the questions?
Yeah, I had a doubt that Jivanmukti and Videhamukti, actually Kanti ji has cleared that, but still a little bit of doubt is there. Is Jivanmukti and Videhamukti both are one and the same, and how it is?
From which perspective we see is more important. For a Gnani, when he is already self-realized, and whether he is a Jivanmukta or a Videhamukta doesn't matter at all. He is a Mukta. So what type of Mukta doesn't come into picture. So when he is one with Brahman, but doing the activities of the normal day activities, then the aspect doesn't come. What type of Mukta doesn't come into picture from the perspective of a Gnani. But for us who are Agnanis, we think the body is, that person is the body. So when the body is considered, so how has he progressed? So when he dies, he drops down his deha, that is the body, then he becomes a mukta. That means he is a Videhamukta. So he may not have Vivartan death cycle. So that is what is we consider as Agnanis. But according to, from the perspective of Agnani or Mukta, then this differentiation doesn't come at all, because he'll be one with Brahman.
Okay. So one more question. What happens to the subtle body? Subtle body is already liberated. That is the thing in this Videhamukti, right?
Yes, yes.
So subtle
Yes.
body is already liberated, and there is no other thing here. Okay. Thank you, Kantiji. That's what I had the questions for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shailin. Kanti, there is a question in the chat box from Pallavi. Could you see that? And
To be frank, Pallaviji, I don't know about that. Avarana and Vikshepa, from that perspective, I have not studied basically. I am not aware of it.
No problem.
Sorry for that.
No problem. So as far as I understand, for a Jivanmukta, Avarana is removed. The ignorance has been removed. The veil of ignorance is already removed. So that is why he is a Mukta. But the Vikshepa continues. He still has the body, mind. He has the subtle body, gross body. He still continues to perform in the world with the projection. The Vikshepa is still present. The projection
Can you just tell me the equivalent of Avarana and Vikshepa?
Avarana is the veil of ignorance, which is removed. So that is why he is a Mukta. The veil of ignorance is destroyed, is burnt off. So, but the Vikshepa, which is the projection, we are projecting the world, right? We all are projecting the world. Even a Jivanmukta will project the world, will continue to project the world until the Prarabdha exists. Once the Prarabdha ceases, that is when the Videhamukti happens, no more projection also remains. So no more Vikshepa for a Videhamukta.
thank you, Pallavi.
No.
Vasuji, can we have your analysis?
Yeah, I think the central theme of Kantiji's talk was that both Jivanmukti and Videhamukti are the same, and right through that was the thread going on. While there was a slight line of difference brought in between, I think throughout the analysis and the inclination of the argument was both are the same, which is good. To make the talk complete, you might want to slightly elaborate on the differences from the perspective, as you rightly said, from the other side, from the onlooker side, just to make it a little more, to give it a balance between both of them, the 2 points of view. There is, however, one thing that could have been explained better. In Ramana's quote that you mentioned there is no mukta, there is no mukti, and there is no bandhana. There is only mukti. So these two things, there is no bandhana, there is no mukti, but there is mukti. These are contradictory. Not that spirituality doesn't account for paradoxes, but you might have to explain what you mean by that. I could not capture the context in which you said it. You did mention Prabhuji's
conscious of mukti.
So in the talk, you might have to explain it clearly a little more. what you mean by there is no bandhana, there is no mukti, there is only mukti. If you are taking that stand, either you see there are one of these two stands is there. Jnani is beyond freedom and liberation. He neither has bondage nor liberation. He is already free. But then you say there is mukti, then you have to define that it is not from the point of view of Jnani. So that clarity might be required in the content. This is what I could just capture. This overall a good talk. Eye contact was there. Flow also was there. I think you took the full 6 minutes. I think if you familiarize yourself with the presentation, it'll get more and a little more fluent on that side. There seemed to be a little bit of break or a disjoint between presentation and the talking, but that will come with practice if you start using presentations more and more. That is not a limitation as such, but I think you will have to get to the familiarity of the presentation. Wonderful work. Good job.
Thank you.
Sharavananji is not joining in. He has to attend some urgent meeting, I believe. So, Gayatri ji is ready.
Yeah, Shobhanaji.
Pratibha and Gayatri ji, over to you.
Yeah.
Gayatri, you're not opening your camera.
Yeah. Am I visible?
Yeah. Yes.
I can't. Yes.
Okay. Should I start, Pratibha? Pratibha?
Yes.
Okay. So the topic given today is one sec.
Shall I stop the timer?
I think you should. You can reset it.
Sorry. Pratibha.
Yes, I'll start.
Yeah. So the topic given is shloka number 2.57 in Bhagavad Gita. It's one of the Sthithaprajna lakshanas. So why does Krishna tell about these Sthithaprajna lakshanas first of all? So maybe because I think this whole thing about enlightenment is the journey from known to unknown, an unknown area and field, which is like not accessible to the mind and sense organs. So we have to hear from somebody like what is all this enlightened being about, etc. So if it directly comes from God, it's more authentic and much better for a seeker. Also, so it helps in another thing like, how do I recognize an enlightened being? And then for a seeker, it helps in self-evaluation in this path of enlightenment. So these characteristics tell me whether, I'm on the right track or not. And also, at many points in this path, I get deluded by my ego saying that, okay, I'm enlightened. I attend nirvana, etc. So we can always come back to this Sthithaprajna lakshana and see where we stand. So that's the importance of these shlokas from 2.57 to 63. So Sthithaprajna, I think everybody knows this, who is firmly established in Sthita, firmly established in the truth, the atmajnana. So the best example I mean, the closest example that Guruji has given is the mother who is working in an office. Even though she's working in the office, her mind is on the child at home. So that's how the Gnani might be engaging in all the Vyavaharika transactional world, but foundation is firmly established in Brahman. He operates from the center of Brahman. He will never forget. It's not forgetting. It's like, I'm a woman, so I don't forget that when I'm transacting morning, evening, night, day, good conditions, bad conditions, whatever it is, I don't forget that I'm a woman. So that's the closest example that can be given. And here in this particular shloka, it's about, Agnani is not, Sthithaprajna is not affected by the good and bad, favorable and unfavorable conditions. So why is this so important? Why is he talking about this? Because life is nothing but a series of favorable and unfavorable. It is a set of favorable ups and downs, good and bad, joy and sorrow. So that is, the entire life is about this. So this becomes very important aspect. That's why he says Gnani is unaffected by the favorable and unfavorable joy and sorrow. So why is he not affected? We can pick up two major reasons. One is he knows that world is mithya, and it's an appearance, it's temporary. This is like this too shall pass kind of thing. And so he's not bothered about mithya. He clearly knows that it's mithya. Second thing, why is he unaffected? Gnani is like, he's a complete being. He is full inside. There is no limitedness. There is no feeling of deficiency. So he's not craving for anything from outside. So hence, so there is no concept of favorable or unfavorable, because he's not expecting anything. If I expect something, it happens, it is favorable. I expect something, it doesn't happen, it's unfavorable. So there are no expectations because I don't need anything. I'm like, I'm full, I'm complete, I'm Purna. So those are the two major reasons. Whereas if you see Agnani, it's, that's a major problem of Agnanis, where they get completely, mind goes up and down with every joy and sorrow. Where Guruji gives this example of this guy who has a heart disease, and then he gets a lottery. Wife gets scared because if he gets to know that he might get a heart attack, and then the wife goes and pleads to the father in the church and says, you have to somehow reveal this, disclose this information in a very nice way, so that he doesn't get elated with joy and the heart stops beating. And then the father calls this guy, and he says, if you get $100, what are you going to do? He says 50 to my wife and 50 to the church. He says, if you get $1,000, again the same thing, 50 to my family and 52. And then father says, supposing you got a lottery of $1 million. He says 50,000 to myself and 50,000 to you, father. The father gets a heart attack. So that's how the human mind works. So Gnani doesn't expect anything from life, and an unfavorable condition implies that something which is not in agreement with my expectations and desires. Gnani is free from all expectations and desires, because he knows who wants to run behind mithya. So that is in short about this shloka. Done. Thank you.
Thank you, Gayatri. And what about the timing, Pratibhaji?
Yeah, I think you can hear like 6 minutes. Means, yeah, 2-3 seconds more. She talked at the end. Could you hear?
Yeah.
6 minutes. After the timer stopped, I put the red background so that you get to know it's like done. Timer is done.
1 minute more, is it?
Could you hear? 6 minutes.
Okay. So right on the dot then.
Yeah, she stopped right on the dot.
Gayatri ji, self-analysis.
Yeah, self-analysis. I have to go to this. Simplicity, clarity, fluency, simplicity, clarity, fluency, focus, crispness, effective talk structure, originality. I think it's kind of okay. Relevant quotes from scriptures, no, I didn't give anything. Day to day, yeah, some examples I could give. Anecdotes from the lives of enlightened, no, I couldn't give. And then time management, I think it's okay. Refer to the notes. Voice modulation, eye contact, I think that's Vasuji. I think he's the best judge. That's all.
Thank you. Shravan ji, your questions, please.
Gayatri ji,
Yeah.
I get a feeling that this Sthithaprajna guy is very, very unemotional and somebody who doesn't care what's happening. Neither he appreciates nor he, react. He looks like very stonish guy. Is this what Krishna means?
Okay. No, I think unaffected doesn't mean that he's avoiding them or escaping from that, or suppressing them or oppressing them. Unaffected means the presence and absence of the condition, favorable or unfavorable. It's the same to him. So he welcomes. It's not like he'll run away. He's not running away. It's not like he won't respond. So, but then with the equanimity, he is actually full of love and compassion. So there is no question of stonishness. So unaffected doesn't mean that he is dead inside.
So you said compassion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, these talks are all about emotions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Guruji said this is about emotional stability. Now, a person who has an emotional stability, how can he be compassionate? What makes him compassionate when and how compassion and any emotional stability go together?
Compassion comes when I feel that something is mine. So I feel compassion for my children. So for a Gnani, I think the entire world is part of him. So there is this all in self and self in all. So he doesn't see the world different from him. So everybody is his children or part of him, or the best example he gives is if there is a mosquito on one hand, how the other hand goes. So there is no separation from anything. He is everybody. So obviously then comes compassion. Emotions are where there is emotions are byproducts of duality. Emotions are coming from the mind and ego. They are byproducts of the ego. Whereas compassion comes from connectedness, a universal connectedness.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Thank you.
Gayatri.
Thank you, Gayatri.
Gayatri, the yardstick, the way you took off defining, taking the Bhagavad Gita's shlokas on Sthithaprajna as a yardstick for self-evaluation was, I think, the key highlight, and that removes a lot of misconceptions about trying to evaluate someone else as a jnani, but to look at how much of it is in myself and in terms of my own progress. I think that was a very good kickstart to the program, and the voice modulation, the points, all of that was very good. Examples also of mother and the child, in terms of always having the child in the background of awareness while doing the work. Those things are also excellently brought out. If there's one thing that I would like you to see that is to have a more gradual ending. I thought the ending was very abrupt. So, okay, thank you. That's it from me. My job is done.
You give me a sample ending.
No, the way you took off gradually, if you can also end equally gradually and then come to a conclusion, and stop rather than sudden break and jerk, it will be a good feel for the listener from that perspective. Otherwise, not from the point of view of content.
Yeah.
That is the only thing that I can.
Noted.
I felt you jammed the brakes all of a sudden. That's all, Gayatri. Wonderful.
Sure, we'll follow Vasuji.
Thank you, Vasuji.
Good questions from
Satyavit,
Shravanji. Yeah.
another question?
I just wanted to compliment Shravanji on the question. It was nice.
Okay. So, do you have another question, Shravanji?
Madam, questions are very easy. The answers are very difficult. Okay.
So, Satyavati ji, you can start.
Shall I start, Pratibha?
Okay, I'll start.
Hari Om to the Atmajyotis. Am I audible? Why I am not being spotlighted? I don't know.
You are spotlight.
You may be in your screen, it might not come, but I think in the recording it might come.
Okay. Hari Om to the Atmajyotis and salutes to the holy feet of Sadguru Shri Prabhuji. Again, the topic given to me is Sthithaprajna, and people have already spoken about it. And I shall try not to repeat the same points, and pardon me if there are any repetitions. And as already told by the other Atmajyotis, Sthithaprajna means the one who is firmly established in the truth or the wisdom, that is, I am Brahman. And as already pointed out, he is calm, composed, contented, peaceful, equanimous, all, etc., etc., etc. We can add so many here. And we also know that there are 4 categories of a Gnani or an enlightened one or a Sthithaprajna: Brahmavid, Brahmavara, Brahmavarenya, Brahmavarishta. And here the Gnana aspect is the same for all. Only the external behavior may vary as per the residual prarabdha karma of the person. So he is a Jivanmukta or Videhamukta, both are same, which is also already spoken about by the other Atmajyotis. And here I would like to share the screen. Is it visible?
Yes.
So I would like to quote the reference from this Bhagavad Gita Shloka 2.59. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam rasopyasa param drishtva nivartate. Which means the objects of the senses turn away from the abstinent man, leaving the longing, but his longing also leaves him on seeing the Supreme. So what does this actually mean? So it says the objects of the senses turn away. So not only the sense organs fall away, but the taste also goes away. We also have one more shloka, 5.18. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini shuni chaiva shvapakecha pandita samadarshinaha. The truly learned with the eyes of divine knowledge see with equal vision a Brahmin, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. What does this mean? A Sthithaprajna is one who has realized that one in all and all in one. Even though he sees oneness, but he treats them with discrimination. For example, if he sees a cow and a tiger, he knows that he is established in Brahman, but he treats them differently. He does not go near a tiger and he can go near a cow. He has this realization. This is the meaning of this. So already the qualities are told by other Atmajyotis, but I would just want to repeat that. He is free from Raga Dvesha. He is equanimous in the world. He has no need, and so there is no greed. He is full. And the ups and downs of the life do not affect him. And he is very calm, even amidst chaos of the world. And we have this beautiful example of this tortoise, which withdraws its organs when not required. So, Sthithaprajna also withdraws his sense organs when not required. He doesn't go behind the worldly desires for happiness because he has found happiness within. Why will he go after a coffee when he has tasted the nectar? So when we see this, then the question might come, how can I control the sense organs? In fact, all of us are doing this in our day-to-day life also. Like if we have attended a marriage function and we have eaten a sumptuous meal, and if anybody gives us our favorite thing also, then we say no. This means what? When I am full, I can always say no, or I don't require it. So this is one way of actually relating to how Sthithaprajna can behave, because he is full within. So he can very well restrain from the external objects. Also, we get another question. Can a householder be a Sthithaprajna? Definitely yes. We know the story of this Kaushika Rishi, who has done a lot of meditation, and then he goes and begs to a housewife lady, and she turns out to be a Sthithaprajna, who is firmly established in the truth, being a householder. Despite his tapasya, this Kaushika Rishi, he could not control or mastery over his anger. And the Dharmavyada, who is a butcher, he could overcome his vasanas and he lived a dharmic life. So it is possible for a Sthithaprajna to perform his household duties and be a Sthitha, who is established in Prajna. And these are some of the ways through which the qualities of a Sthithaprajna are told to us. And as already Gayatri ji has mentioned, why these qualities are told to us? Am I actually evaluating a Gnani as we do the evaluation in our JJ? No, because these are told to us to know where do I stand, whether these qualities, do I have the qualities within me? It is something like Guruji also has given us a scale of fire where I will know where do I stand amidst any chaotic situations. The same way, the qualities, I have to just look upon myself. Do I have this quality within me? And then we have been blessed to have Sthithaprajna amongst us, where he is like a role model to all of us. And under his guidance, definitely we all can move forward and reach that state of a Sthithaprajna. And with this, I would like to hand. Thank you. Hari Om. I think I exceeded a bit.
Thank you, Satyavati ji.
I exceeded 1 minute.
Yes, you exceeded.
And actually, yeah, this PPT presentation, first time for me. I mean, I know, I mean, like it was not very good also. I only knew how to make a template, not a PPT presentation, but I just tried this. And coming to the evaluation aspect. Yeah. Simplicity, clarity, yeah, I think I maintained it. Relevant quote from scripture, of course, the Bhagavad Gita shloka was told, which was already given to us. One small story also I could tell, and day-to-day little bit example I could give. Time management, I exceeded, overshoot 1 minute. And yeah, since I presented the PPT, I was able to present the points, voice modulation, eye contact, and body language, confident delivery. I expect Vasuji to tell me. Thank you.
Vasuji, over to you.
Questions?
Sorry, questions.
Questions first.
Seshaji.
Namaste.
Who will be asking? Hello. Namaste.
Wonderful talk, Satyavati ji.
Thank you.
One question is, how to abstain from the sensual pleasures?
I just quoted an example. When I am full inside, then I don't go for it. But how to means definitely we need to do some practice. Guruji says, though, when I have diabetes, I can definitely control it not to eat sugar. The same way, it just comes by practice only. See, if I say that no, I don't want to eat, I don't, like Guruji says, when I sit for meditation, I don't want to see monkey, only the monkey will come. So the more you stress upon that, the more it will be difficult for you. You have to just say to yourself, I can, because my focus or aim is to reach that stage. No, definitely it will happen if I am very focused on that ultimate goal. It comes by practice also. That is the sadhana, which helps us in Chitta Shuddhi also.
Yeah, Shravana Manana Nididhyasa must happen.
All that follows. Our journey is only that.
Yes, Satyavati, I think you are looking at this Visha Vinivartante sloka, right?
Correct.
In that, Rasavarja Rasa Yopi Parandrishtvani Vartate. So the question that he is asking is, even though I abstain from sensual pleasures by controlling my senses, the feeling or the rasa of it still remains, and that goes only when the drusti is on higher goal, para, right? So probably the answer should be connected to this shloka, and from the question that he has asked is, you can control senses to some extent, yes, but that is at a day-to-day transactional level. But the shloka's beautiful meaning is about the higher one, which is, while that is okay, in order to be able to gradually and very naturally overcome this, you need to have a higher purpose, parandristva, which means you see to the reality, the self, which is above all. Then automatically all these things without any control will come through. So that probably is the, more in line with the
Correct. Yeah, in detail. I just mentioned it as my focus. I have to do that. I did mention it as a higher purpose. Correct, Shravanji. Thank you. I agree with that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shravanji. Second question, if it is okay to ask.
Yes.
Satyavati ji, you mentioned about the external behavior may vary based on the Brahmavid, Brahmavarenya, Brahmavarishta. Would it be possible to please elaborate on that?
I guess Guruji has spoken about this many times. Yeah, still, yeah, Brahmavid will be like a common man. He may not be withdrawing much from the external world. And the same way it goes, like Brahmavid, Brahmavara, and then Brahmavarenya. He will sit aloof. He may withdraw from the society a lot more. And Brahmavarishta, mostly in Samadhi. So the degree varies here. It's with respect to the interaction with the world. So the Brahmavid will be very active in the society, like maybe we look at our Guruji. So that way it increases. The withdrawal increases.
Thank you. Wonderful.
Is that right?
Thank you.
Is that okay?
Thank you very much, Satyavati ji. Wonderful.
Thank you for the questions.
Vasuji.
I think, first of all, hearty congratulations on the bold attempt of PowerPoint for the first time that you did. And in this forum, of course, you might have done PowerPoint elsewhere. It came out well.
First time, Vasuji, I only knew how to make a template. I could not do that bullet presentation. I didn't know. I mean, I need to learn anyway. We have a workshop now.
I don't believe you now.
No, this is true.
Okay. You've done it so well. I think, yeah, the fluency, the flow was all very good. I think one positive point that stood out is why the Sthithaprajna is stable, that once anyone is full, why will he bother about any non-fullness or variation? That point came out very well. Very good all in all. Voice modulation also was good. I think there was a slight disadvantage that many people have come before you and you had a challenge on what to pick. Therefore, I think more dynamic scripting will have to come into play for you in the sequence that you presented, or anybody in your position would have presented, but you did a good job overall, looking at the topic given and the number of people who spoke on the same topic earlier. Good job.
Thank you. What I overshoot the time, and I'll, in spite of that, I rushed up also, no?
Yeah,
I mean,
that is because of the presentation also, probably.
Yeah. You know, Vaniji had given a tip.
1 minute.
A pause. Maybe I didn't give that pause. Anyway, I'll note it down. Thank you, Vasuji.
Yes, welcome.
One feedback in general, instead of having the red, back, the screen going at the 6th minute, can we have it 30 seconds earlier so that when red goes off, you still have time to conclude and still not run over?
Okay, 30 seconds.
Yeah, because what we were following, we should have made that clear to the timekeeper when we started. Yeah, that's right.
30 seconds before I will.
Yeah, so Pratibhaji, you can just show the red flag at 5:30 instead of 6 minutes, so that people know they have 30 seconds to wind up.
Okay, sure.
Mm-hmm.
So that means the green and yellow would go 30 seconds prior. It will be like 4.5, 3.5, 4.5, and 5.5.
Can be done.
That's a possibility.
Right. We should
That
make
was
that
the thing we
standard.
followed, no? When Anuji used to be the timer, yellow, green, and red.
Yeah, it's like 4 minutes we show green, 5 minutes we show yellow. And when 5 minutes comes in, they have still 1 minute. They can conclude at red, they can stop. Sometimes they overshoot 30 seconds. So 6 minutes, 30 seconds. Sometimes they can't conclude within that 6 minutes. So probably we all can follow the same, I guess.
Yeah, we should make it an SOP. Yeah, right.
I mean, if it is okay to, take 30 seconds after the red has come out, I think then it is fine.
Yeah.
4, 5, 6 is fine.
That's how they follow in Toastmasters. Sometimes we overshoot 30 seconds when they turn the red. And yeah, it's a self-timing, that's it.
Yeah, I think as long as you can wind down in 20 to 30 seconds after the red, that should be all right. That margin should be okay.
Yeah. Shall we go ahead with the next speaker?
So that means we are still doing 4, 5, and 6, just to be clear.
I just wanted to know the same.
4, 5, and 5, and Anu, can you repeat that again? The timing?
Okay, 4 minutes is green. 5 minutes is 4 minutes is green when they complete 4 minutes. 5 minutes is yellow because they still have 1 minute between 5 and 6. They still have 1 minute to wind up. And if they still can, they can take extra 30 seconds. That would be ideal. Is
and
that good?
When you come with red, we still have 30 seconds to wind up, right?
Yeah, they can take a kind of 30 seconds, not required, but optional. Is that good,
No,
Pratibha?
it's not clear. No, it's not clear.
Okay, let me write down in the chat.
I think I got it. Anu, you can correct me. 4 is green, 5 is yellow, 6 is red.
Right.
And red is not a hard stop at 6. You have 20 to 30 seconds to wind down after red. But really, I think people following the traffic signal, if you follow amber, you will stop by the time it comes to red. You have 1 minute to stop after yellow.
Absolutely. Yes. Because
Right?
you know when yellow is coming, you have to stop and you're there at the intersection. You have to jam your brakes.
So if you miss the yellow, then definitely don't miss the red.
So Sheshadri, that 30 seconds thing has to be a self, we have to do it ourselves, Sheshadri. That 30 seconds wind up, we only have to time ourselves, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Treat yourself as a client.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
No other speakers for the day. They have all excused themselves. So
Prashantji and Chandrasekharji are not going to the presentation.
No.
So we wind up now.
Yeah, just one observation to Sheshadri's question on how to overcome the senses. From the Jnana Yoga perspective, how to is a dangerous thing. There is no technique for Vedanta except shift in the focus or attention from Mithya to Satya. So I think while we are there, so that is why most seers will not give any specific practice technique in Atma Vichara, or they will just do a nididhyasa to say, recognize the Mithya, then recognize the Satya and stay in the Satya in silence. So that is just one observation I just wanted to share. I don't know if it makes sense. If anyone else has any other inputs towards this, you may please feel free to share.
No, same like Satyavati said, Krishna says, Abhyasena tu kaunteya, vairagyena cha grihyate. So, Abhyasa only. Fake it till you make it. Yeah.
Abhyasa, and also as Shravanji pointed out, the focus is on a higher purpose.
Lower will drop.
Also makes us, as Basuji, you said very rightly, because through Gnana only it has to come, not by forcefully controlling, which actually, in yogic methods, maybe they try. Here, through Gnana, I am very clear about my higher purpose. So even if in the beginning I may find it difficult, as the wisdom seeps in, definitely it happens.
Yeah, just that the focus is not on action, but on right understanding. And the action that flows from understanding will take care of itself.
Right. Can I just give a little tip on PPTs? Two people.
Yes, we need it.
Vasuji, with your permission.
Yes, Madhima, please.
Yeah. So Kantiji and Ido, Enandre, both of you had got full sentences written down in the PPT. Just one key point, and then you need to elaborate on your own, not read the lines over there.
Correct.
So that is one.
Bullet points.
Just bullet points, and don't read off it, like, unless it's a statement or a quote.
Correct.
We just put some bullet points and then you expand on your own.
Correct.
That way you achieve both spontaneity of expression as well as giving the key point over there. Mainly, that's it.
Presentation, okay na? I mean,
animation and all was very nice. I think you should have done slideshow, Satyavati. We could see.
I told Masuji is not believing me. I really don't know. But I like the tortoise so much. It is so cute.
We also like the tortoise.
I'm seeing that again and again.
Yeah. So that's it. Just that bullet points need to be said, and you should not be like putting the entire notes over there on Tara.
Yeah, correct.
Correct. Okay.
I have one question.
Yes.
Silly question to ask, if it is okay.
Sheshadriji, video on Madipa.
No, actually I'm in still at work. Still at work in the sense like not an office,
Today.
but I have to go back to work. So I have not set up anything. So please don't mind. So after realization, say the body mind will continue to stay because of prarabdha karma. So because of that prarabdha, is there any possibility that the mind still looks for happiness in the objects after realization? Or absolutely not possible?
Who should answer?
Anyone, I mean, like general question.
Prarabdha is only for the onlooker, no? The Gnani has already transcended. He doesn't have a body, he doesn't have karma, nothing applies to the Gnani, right? That's the understanding.
But we have an example of sage Vishwamitra, isn't it?
He was a work in progress. He was not a complete Gnani when he reacted to all this, pralobanagalu. So he was not it. He was just in the process of getting jnana.
So by definition, Jivanmukti, like I think one Atmajyoti already pointed out, is mukti from what? Freedom from what? Actually, if we understand what is the bondage, the only bondage for all of us is the attachment to the body.
Correct.
The freedom is from removing the attachment to the body. Jivanmukti is while in the body being free from the body.
Exactly.
So when the jnani or the realized one is free from all attachment to the body, where is the question of sense pleasures? It doesn't mean that the jnani will not experience sense pleasures. In fact, if we see in Dritrisha Viveka, Prabhuji has also explained that when we wake up from the dream world ends. But when we wake up from the waking dream to the jnani, the waking world doesn't end, it continues. It persists.
He may have a
but still he is free from it. Yeah. It doesn't bind him. Nothing prevents a jnani from enjoying a jalebi or a cup of coffee, but it does not bind him.
Correct.
He will not go craving for it if he doesn't have it. Today, I missed my coffee in the evening and I had to get it from the hotel. So that's the only difference, I think. So I think we have to distinguish between experience and craving from the experience that differentiates a seeker from a jnani. Experience is common to both. What is added on to a seeker is the craving.
And sometimes they deliberately have a vasana so that they continue to function. Like we know the example of Ramakrishna, who ate sweets so that was the only thing which kept him grounded. And also Nisargadatta Maharaj used to enjoy a nice smoke. So it did nothing. It did nothing to the Sthithaprajnatva, basically. So the bhoga vasana can be there, but the bandhana vasanas are completely gone. Okay, I think we can close. That's fine.
Wonderful session. Thank you all. Thank you, Vasuji.
Hari Om, everyone.
Hari Om. Prayer.
Namadam Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Nanembudu nanalla Ideha Manabuddhi nanalla Satchidanandatma Shivananu nane Shivoham 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 Atmadarshanam Brahmadarshanam, Brahmadarshanam, Satyadarshanam, Lokaha samasta Sukhino bhavantu, Lokaha samastaha Sukhino bhavantu, Lokaha samastaha Sukhino bhavantu. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Guru Padarpanamastu. Harihi Om. Tat Sat.
Yeah, when is the next class? We could just quickly decide.